Hi beautiful, welcome to chapter 3 of Radical Radiance, all about step 1 moments, or in other words, the gifts of pain. Now, I know it might seem weird to have a chapter about pain and not getting what you want and suffering in a book about manifestation, but I think it's really important that we accept the fact that pain is a part of life and that we can use it to our advantage if we understand that it has things to teach us and that we can use it, like I said in the chapter, as our servant rather than as our master. One of the quotes that I really want you to keep in mind this month, well, maybe for the rest of your life, if you haven't heard it already, is that pain is mandatory and suffering is optional. So what that means is when you feel the pain, when you experience pain, we need to be aware of it, do what we need to do to release it, to process it, to let it go, and then make sure that it doesn't overstay its welcome. Overstaying its welcome is when pain becomes suffering. And so we just want to be really aware of how we're feeling on a daily basis so that we can let go of that pain that we're feeling so it doesn't become just this thing we're dragging around all the time, because that doesn't feel good for anyone. So as you probably learned from the chapter, I wrote it from a place of pain and yearning, and in some ways that's still something that I'm experiencing and going through. I'm still looking at my pain, I'm still releasing it, I'm still acknowledging that it's there. It's been sitting with me for a couple of weeks now, and it's just something that is around right now, and that's just how it is. And even though I am making the effort to feel good every day and I'm doing that, I'm also like, there's just this little pain bubble that's just around me. And so I kind of just wanted to let you know that no matter what your life is like, no matter how much you're focused on feeling good, there are sometimes going to be things that come up or that happen that are going to hurt, that are going to feel bad, and that's part of life. And it's okay. And if you're feeling that way, not to feel guilty for it. I think often we beat ourselves up for feeling bad, so we feel bad for feeling bad, which really just perpetuates the cycle. So I would advise you, if you're feeling shitty or if you're in pain, just to let yourself off the hook a little bit. Just to acknowledge that this is something that you're going through and that that is okay. Another thing I would love for you to do this month is to ask yourself, where in the past has pain led to gold? A really good example from my own life was the dissolution of a relationship earlier this year that was painful. I cried for a week, but then literally 2 weeks later, I started dating someone who completely changed my perspective on life, made me feel really good about myself, made me feel smart and sexy and valuable and beautiful and not like a flawed individual, which is how I had been feeling in the previous relationship. So even when painful things happen, it can lead us to something really beautiful. And I think it's important that we come to a realization of the times when that has happened for us in the past, because it helps you see the pain you're dealing with now and give it a greater context and understand that even though this thing that you're dealing with right now may suck, it's not going to suck forever, and it's leading you to something beautiful. Which is, like I said in the chapter, juicy questions, aka juicy problems, lead to juicy answers, aka juicy solutions. So in some ways, the more convoluted or tricky or bizarre your problem or your question is, the better and sexier and more vivacious and juicy and delicious your answer and solution will be. So just make sure that you're aware that this pain is leading you to somewhere better. And when we have that perspective on life, then, you know, life does what we say. It follows us down that track. We're attracting what we're believing. So remind yourself of that every day, that things are always getting better, that the pain is here to teach you something. And once it's taught you that thing, then you'll move on to this beautiful new stage and everything will feel really, really good. So in the chapter, I covered a few different ways that we can work with our pain, but there are lots of other ones. And I would love for you to comment with your favorites below. Tell us how you like to deal with pain. A couple of things that I didn't mention in the chapter are learning to laugh. When I'm having a hard time, I obsessively watch stand-up comedy. And in fact, when I got divorced, I don't know, like a million years ago, I watched stand-up comedy constantly. I just had it going in my house all the time, even if I wasn't paying attention to it. And it really helped me get through that weird period of just adjusting to being in a house without my now ex-husband in it. It felt really weird to be in there by myself and without a dog, and so having another voice in the house and having something funny playing all the time was really helpful and definitely assisted me in like moving through those feelings more quickly and more effectively. Another thing that you can do if you're feeling pain is to attend a 12-step meeting. If you don't know much about the 12 steps, I really recommend looking them up, or especially reading Russell Brand's book Recovery, which is one of the best books I've ever read on addiction. And the truth of the matter is that most of us are addicted to something. It's a coping mechanism that most of us engage in. So I would really recommend checking that out. And if you do have any curiosity about a 12-step meeting, then get your ass to one and see what happens. I think you'll find that it gives you some peace and some solace and helps you understand that you are not the only one in pain and you are not the only one suffering. So let's get into this tapping. This tapping is really simple but super effective. And I think this is a tapping that you're gonna come back to all the time. This is just tapping on pain, tapping on feeling it, not feeling guilty for feeling it, and allowing ourselves to feel it and motherfucking release it. Oh yeah, we need it. Okay, I have Perrier lime for the occasion. What? So exciting. So drink some water. I'm gonna do the same, and we're gonna hit this shit with the quickness. Okay. So what I want you to do with this tapping is just think about whatever it is causing you pain right now. Take a moment to just tune into it, feel it. You can put your hand on your heart and just like, settle into it, because we need to really feel this to deal with it. That's how it works. Okay. You can rub your hands together like this if you want to. For me, it always helps, but up to you. And then we are going to start on the karate chop point right here. So repeating after me. I haven't even started yet. Okay. Even though I feel this pain, and sometimes the pain feels really heavy. Sometimes the pain feels too big to manage. Sometimes I don't even know what to do with all of this pain. I deeply and completely love and accept and forgive myself. Even though I feel this pain, and I wish that things had gone differently. And sometimes when I think back on this situation, I wonder if there's anything I could have done differently. But realistically, I know that this pain is here for a reason. That I probably didn't get what I want because I am being protected by the universe. And that actually it's all going to turn out much better than I had hoped. But even though I know that's a possibility, it doesn't mean that I don't feel this pain. I still feel sad. I still feel disappointed. I still feel lack and scarcity. And even if I know that it wasn't the best thing for me, I still wish it had gone differently. I still wish that my life looked different right now. So even though I don't have everything that I want right now, I accept myself as I am. Even though I don't have that thing, I forgive myself anyway. And even though that thing feels distant and far away, I love myself anyway. Okay, top of the head. Even though I feel this pain, because I didn't get what I want, I accept myself as I am. And even though I'm mad that I didn't get what I want, and I'm sad about how things turned out, and I feel disappointed, and it creates a lot of pain in my body, I accept myself regardless. I am willing to look at this pain and sit with it. Even though I really don't want to. Like, why can't I just get what I want so I don't have to sit with this pain? Sitting with this pain fucking sucks. It's not what I want to do with my time. I wish I could just get absolutely everything I want in exactly the time that I want it. Just snap my fingers and have it. But I know that that is not how it always works. I know that sometimes I am being protected by the universe. In fact, I think I am always being protected by the universe. But sometimes I feel like I know better. And I know what I want. So why can't I just have it right now? But I don't have it right now. And that is something I need to accept in this moment. If only to move through the pain. So even though I am still in pain, I am willing to release it. I am willing to let it go and let it move out of my body. Because holding on to it isn't making me any happier. In fact, it's kind of just fucking with my vibration. So even though I still feel this pain, I am willing to let it work through me. I am willing to